In this video, I'll be sharing you my journey of going from when I was 18, starting my business, to becoming a millionaire at 26, and the many failures and lessons I learned along the way. What's going on, guys? Sean here. Welcome to my channel. I mainly talk about self-publishing, building passive income streams, and retiring early. But today I kind of wanted to do something different where I just kind of talk about my journey and my story of how I started trying to become successful with a business when I was 18 and failed many years. But you know, just what I learned over the years that led me to becoming a millionaire at 26. So the reason why I wanted to make this video is because what I noticed over the years, or what I noticed especially recently, is a lot of the events are connected. And there are a few points that I kind of wanted to, talk about in this video. But just a quick disclaimer is I'm not saying, this is what you should do. I'm not even saying, look at me, I worked so hard, right? Look at all the sacrifices I made. Because I'm sure there are a lot of other people that made bigger sacrifices than me. So I'm not saying I'm special or anything like that. Nor, I'm not even sure if you should do the same thing too, because everybody's different, right? I'm just sharing my story, and hopefully you guys can take something out of it. But let me know if you guys like these kind of videos where it's a little more personal. If you like it, leave a like. Let me know you like it in the comments. But anyways, I'm going to start the story off with when I was 18. So after graduating high school, the first ever job that I got was selling Cutco knives. So I was selling Cutco knives, and soon after that, I was recruited by a friend into a multi-level marketing company, or a network marketing company, which led me, because they recommended me to read a book. So basically I joined the network marketing company, right? And the first thing they told me is I should read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I did. Now, from that book, I learned two things, basically. One is that I want passive income, because until then, I didn't know anything about passive income, making money while you sleep, right? I thought the only way was to go the traditional route of working a 9 to 5 and making money, exchanging your time with money, basically. So first thing I learned was I wanted passive income because it sounds awesome, right? I don't want to work my entire life. I wanted to retire soon. And then the second thing is I wanted to do sales, because the more I improve my sales skills, the more money I make, right? My income wasn't determined by how long I was with the company or, anything like that. It wasn't a set salary. So that's what Rich Dad Poor Dad talked about too, is that sales is great because it's all performance based, right? The more you can sell, the faster you can make money. So after I learned that, I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. And I read a ton of books on sales and marketing. And even though I was incredibly shy, right? And, I had a lot of social anxiety growing up. I went into sales just for that reason. And every time I learn a new tip or strategies from, sales books or network marketing courses that I took, I did it, right? Even though I was like super scared of doing it. When I read or when I was watching this guy on YouTube telling me that you should cold call realtors. So that's what I did, right? I was this 18-year-old kid trying to recruit people into my network marketing company, freaking cold calling realtors on Zillow. So I would just go to Zillow or realtor.com, right? And some realtors will list their phone number on the site. So I would call them one after another, telling them that, hey, I found your phone number from Zillow.com or whatever, and I'm looking for some sharp people in my team. Would you be interested in stuff like that, as an 18-year-old kid? And I probably sucked doing it. I recruited 0 people doing that, but I did it because I was told I should do it, right? I was told that it's a good thing to do in my company. Another guy that I was following said I should go to churches because it's good to network. So even though I'm not a Christian, or I'm not really religious, I went to churches every Sunday just so I can network with people. Another one was that I was told I should go volunteer. So another person that I was listening to on YouTube told me I should go to volunteering events because it's also good for networking. So I went to Habitat for Humanity asking to volunteer with them. Another example, I found a lady killing it in social media, right? So I bought her course and then started doing like social media marketing too. So basically the point is, every time people told me, this is good to do, I was jumping on that opportunity to go and try those strategies, right? And I did all that for months, but I sucked really, really bad. I sucked so hard, obviously, because I was this 18-year-old kid, have no business experience, no sales experience. And also I couldn't like communicate as well as I am right now. I don't even think I'm a good communicator now, but if you think I'm not a good speaker now, look at me when I was 18. I was horrible. So anyways, I made around $100 over 6 months from my network marketing company, and I kept losing more and more money every single month because it was around $200 a month that I had to pay to stay in the team, right? But I focused on one concept, which is to improve my skills. So that's the one concept is I focused on becoming better. And I knew that while listening to Jim Rohn says this thing where you get paid what you're worth to the marketplace, or you get paid based on what you're worth, right? So I believe that if I just kept on working on myself and improving my skill set, one day I'll be valuable enough to be paid a good amount. That's the whole belief that I had when I was 18. So I knew that if I kept on learning sales or learning communication, becoming better, I'll be able to eventually recruit people into my network marketing company, or just, get paid based on what I'm worth, which hopefully is more than what I was getting paid, $100 in 6 months, right? So I had a lot of doubts, but this is what I focused pretty much on my entire life since I was 18. So what I would do, on top of that is these network marketing companies. First of all, I don't think network marketing is the best business model, by the way, if you're thinking. It's just what I started with, right? So I didn't know any better, so I was trying to build, network marketing pretty hard. But I would go to big events, that these companies host. So like regional events and this and that. And they always say it's good to attend, right? So I would fly to locations like Kentucky in dead winter. Alone, without knowing anybody at age 19. Or the next one was in Kansas City, Missouri. This is all on Instagram, by the way, if you guys want to check it out. If you scroll all the way back to my Instagram feed, like early days, you'll see me with my journey in Kentucky or Kansas City, Missouri. But then I was doing all that. And then one day I flew to Oahu, right? Oahu, Hawaii, which is where Waikiki is. For like a smaller regional event for the company. And until then, I thought I was literally the only guy in this specific MLM company in Hawaii, because I didn't know anybody else doing it on my island, which is Big Island that I live in. But I found out after going to Oahu that there are actually hundreds of people doing the same, or in the same company in Oahu. So I was actually blown away by that, and I was like, man, there's actually some successful people here. So that's when I decided that I will move to Oahu just for that, so I can connect to the team and hopefully grow my business, right? So that's the only reason why I moved out to the city side. And kind of backtracking a little bit, but before I moved, right, for a couple months, I was actually doing door-to-door sales. So I started doing door-to-door sales just because, again, I heard that door-to-door sales is one of the best ways to improve your communication skills and also sales skills. And it's true, door-to-door sales was an amazing experience. But because people told me that, I did it, right? So I took a job doing door-to-door sales. I used to sell Kirby vacuum cleaners for $3,800. So we used to sell a 4K vacuum cleaners. The way we did it is basically we drive around different neighborhoods, right? And we worked 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week. We would walk around knocking on doors, asking people to, if we can clean their house for free, which the cleaning took like 2 hours. So we would clean their house free. And while we're cleaning, the homeowner has to talk to us, basically. So we're showing, the features of the vacuum cleaners while we're cleaning, and hopefully we can close them while we're explaining all that, right? So I did that for a couple months. And even though everyone hated on us, like everyone as in, the people the neighborhood people hated on us and calling, the cops on us and everything. I definitely lost, or I improved on my social anxiety like significantly. And then over the 4 months or so that I worked this job, I probably made around $3,000 total. So that's less than $1,000 a month working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, right? Because it was pure commission, like 100% commission. I didn't get any base pay or anything like that. So I was really doing it for the experience and also the skill set that I learned. And I knew that if I can improve on it one day, I'll get paid more. So I took door-to-door, sales courses and this and that. So I've always been this guy that when I decide I want to do something, I buy a course and then I try to follow it to the T. But a lot of times I would come home after working 12-hour days, right? Walking in the sun, 12 hours. And then I would come home with no sales. So I made nothing. So what I started doing was I used to start picking up like coins that I see on the street. So I would pick up pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, whatever I find on the street, put it in my pocket, so that when I come home, at least I can say I made something, So it was funny because I come home and I'm like, hey, look, I made 12 cents today, and I would tell my mom, I'm like, look, mom, I made 35 cents today or something like that with a big smile. So that's what I did basically. So for door to door, it was a great experience, and I will show you why this kind of led to everything else. But after that, right, I moved to Oahu, like I said, and I immediately after I landed, without chilling or anything like that, landed and got to my new place, I started applying to all the jobs that I found on Craigslist online. So basically, I applied to around 20 to 30 jobs. And right after that, on the same day, I walked into the mall, Ala Moana Shopping Center, which is the biggest mall that they have over there. And I walked into every single retail stores or retail sales store. I didn't want to get any other job than sales. So I wanted a retail sales job. So I walked into every single retail sales type of stores and asked for a job. And I just filled out the application right then and there. And then I went to the next store and then filled out the application and then went to the next store and did the same thing. So I did the entire first floor and the second floor on day one. So that took me all day. And then I hit up, then I went back the next day and did the last 2 floors because it was a 4-floor building. So I applied to a bunch of places. And then after that, the next day I went to Waikiki and walked into all the retail stores asking for a job, like Gucci, Louis Vuitton. And those jobs definitely did not call me back because I didn't even own a suit or anything. I literally had jeans and polo shirt and I'm walking into like Gucci trying to get a sales job. So obviously they didn't call me, but I didn't know anything back then about like dress codes and stuff. So I just did all that. But another funny story is I had no idea how to cook or even grocery shop. So the first like week of, living in Oahu, I just bought like 3 boxes of dry cereals because I was super cheap, right? So I just bought like 3 boxes of dry cereals and then I was munching on it dry whenever I got hungry. And then I was applying to those, jobs. Obviously, I started starving after a couple days, so I had to buy like Subway, once in a while to supplement myself. But I had like a couple $100, I think, in my savings. Or no, I think I had like $1,000 in my savings. So basically, I had to get a job immediately. Or once the next month hits, right, the rent for next month hit, it would have been a little sketchy. So anyways, that's what I did. And I applied to a ton of jobs the first week. And the second week, I got a call, right? Or I started getting a lot of calls because I applied for a crap ton of places. So the second week, I just filled out with job interviews. But since I was too cheap to buy a car, I didn't even wanted to buy a bike or even pay $2.50 for a bus pass, right? I was even too cheap to pay for $2.50 on a bus. So I basically walked to all my job interviews, which I had it scheduled 3 interviews a day, every single day for 1 week straight. So basically 3 interviews. 1 week straight. So that's like 20 something interviews, which is not a lot if you think about it. But, so sometimes I would walk like an hour to this job interview in the morning, and then I have to walk back an hour to the other side for another job interview, and then 30 minutes back to another. And while I'm walking, I'm listening to audiobooks, trying to learn more stuff, of course. And eventually I got a job at a retail store in the mall selling sunglasses. So that was my first job in Oahu. That was my actual first legit job, I think, as Cutco selling Kirby vacuum cleaners. It was kind of like not really legit in terms of like jobs, because it was just this small office, trying to recruit us. So that was an actual legit job in the mall selling sunglasses, like doing retail sales. And then I also got a telemarketing job selling solar. So I got a retail and a telemarketing job. So again, my focus is to improve my communication skills and improve my sales skills. So that has not changed over the years, right? And what's funny is that both of these hires told me that they hired me only because I did door-to-door. So in my resume, I put, I did door-to-door sales. And it's also funny story is in my resume, I literally put the #1 door-to-door sales rep in Big Island, right? When in reality, we were the only ones doing door-to-door, and I was the only sales rep. So we were like a team of 4 people, and there was a driver, there was the door knockers, and there were me, who was actually like cleaning the house and doing the sales part. So I was the only guy. So obviously I was the #1 guy because I was the only guy in the Big Island, But I put that in my resume, and then I got hired for that. So it was super funny. But anyways, I was told that they both said, if you can sell door-to-door, you can do anything. So that door-to-door experience led me to getting a job here. Now, after a few months, I got recruited by a big hotel brand, because I also applied to them too, to do a second job interview for a concierge / like selling timeshare position. So I used to be a timeshare. I didn't like actually do the sales presentation, but I was the one like recommending it to people, So it was still like a sales job. And the pay was really good. So it was $50,000 a year. So a big pay jump for me. And as a 20-year-old kid, right, that was huge. And they also told me the same thing. If you can do door-to-door, you can do anything, And they also saw that I was a #1 sales rep in door-to-door in Big Island. So obviously it was a no-brainer for them to hire me, But this is why, right? Even though I made very little money with MLM, network marketing, for years. At this point, it's been like 4 years of not making any money from MLM. And I was also paying the monthly fees and, all this time and all this money buying courses and this and that, not getting any results at all, right? But that experience led me to focus on sales, right? Like focus on sales skills, which led me to do door-to-door sales. And even though I made very little money with door-to-door, right, that experience led me to get this concierge job, which paid me $50,000 a year. So it's all connected, Everything is connected, right? And then I also kept focusing on improving my communication skills and sales skills. So that also helped too. But you can see the events are connecting. And if you have a fixed goal, whatever you do, it kind of just leads back to that, if that makes sense. So because I was making around $50K a year from the job, but was living very, very frugally, I was able to save a lot of money. So what I used to do was I used to live in this place. It was 3-story building, and then there was a bunch of rooms, and then the second floor was the shared living room, kitchen, bathroom, those kind of things. So I had over 5 roommates constantly, right? And, some people would move out, move in, but I pretty much had like 5 roommates at a time. And my room was this private room all the way. You literally had to like leave the building, go around to the back, and then there was a laundry room. And then you have to walk through the laundry room, and there's this weird door in the laundry room. And when you open it, that's my little room in the corner. So that was the room that I had. It was like $600 a month. And in terms of transportation, I was riding around a $50 bicycle that was broken. There was only one gear because everything else is broken. I used to have like $100 bicycle, but it keeps getting stolen every single year. It's really bad over there in terms of like, theft and stuff. So, and groceries, I would literally never eat out. Like in terms of how often I ate out, I would say maybe once every 4 months was how often I ate out. So if I wasn't eating out, which is most of the time, I would eat rice, beans, eggs, chickens, right? Rice, beans, eggs, chickens, every single meal with a little bit of ketchup. So every single day I would have that for one meal, and then a protein shake and a cereal for my second meal. And I would have 2 meals a day for around 5 straight years. So that is how I saved a lot of money. I barely had any social life. I used to justify the fact that I hadn't like no go-to friends that I can hang out on the weekends or on holidays by the fact that I had to work, right? So I would justify how I didn't have any friends by saying that, oh, I have to stay home and work anyways, because I wanted to build my business. But in reality, even if I wanted to kind of get out and socialize, I didn't really have like a go-to friend like that. Until the last year of being in Oahu, I got connected with a few people and, started building my social life a little better. But until then, it was pretty bad. So I lived off around 1K a month, all inclusive, right? And saved everything else. Then around when I was 20 or 21, I discovered self-publishing, and I was able to invest that money from there. And once I found self-publishing, I immediately went all in, watching every single YouTube videos, immersed myself really in the topic, reading every single blog post, and going through a course, that I purchased. So again, I absolutely immersed myself in it, took action, invested a lot of time, money, and work. And I started getting results, and I kept on reinvesting, whatever I made back into the business. And I just kept going for 5 years or so, right? And I definitely had some setbacks. I got scammed. I lost a lot of money in different business or bad business decisions. So I had a period of like 1.5 years that I lost over $125,000 from scam and a bad business decision combined. But besides that, everything I made, reinvested back into the business. I saved and just kept going and going and, kept building for years. And once I started making around $10,000 a month in my publishing business, I finally quit my job. A lot of people quit too soon, I think, from their job. For me, I was a little scared to not have health insurance and all those kind of things, because I used to use my insurance pretty frequently. So I finally quit my job after hitting 10K a month. And then since then, I went full time in building my online business and maintained a 6-figure a year income for a few years. Then I recently, made a video about this too, but I recently sold that publishing business for $820,000 to focus on building my course and YouTube. And I'm also going to publish again too, but, selling that business made me a millionaire. In terms of net worth, I have over $1 million now at the age of 26. So that is the summary of my journey from when I was 18, getting started with entrepreneurship, to 26, and I just turned 27 now. But that's the overall story, and I don't really know what you got out of this in terms of value, so let me know. But if there's one thing, right, if there's one thing that I want you to take away from this video, is that whatever you're working on right now, whether it's publishing or you're working on a different business, or if you're just working on a job or whatever it is, right? It's not a waste of time, even if you're not getting any good results from it. It's not a waste of time as long as you focus on improving your skills, right? As long as you focus on improving your worth, as how valuable you are in the marketplace. It's not a waste of time, because you now have that skill set, you now have that knowledge that you can apply to the next business that you do, right? Or whatever the next thing is for you. Just like how MLM, connected me to getting into sales, and that connected me to doing door to door, and that opened up a lot of doors for me to getting this, good paying job, which not a lot of 20-year-old get hired for this job, by the way. So door to door definitely helped, right? And so because I was making 50K a year, from that, I was able to save a lot, invest in my business, and that is how I, was able to kind of build my publishing business fairly quickly. So that is why everything is connected. All you want to do is to focus on your skill set. So if you're struggling in publishing or whatever business, just keep in mind that, or just understand that you are learning a valuable skill, right? That you can go and apply to whatever you do for the rest of your life. Okay, so don't just focus on money, don't just focus on those kind of tangible results, because although that is important, right? There's a lot of things that you're gaining from going through this, that you cannot see. There's a lot of things that you're learning. There's a lot of skills that you're acquiring that you cannot see because it's not showing up as a tangible result like money, right? Or results. So, sometimes people get discouraged. I definitely get discouraged a lot because of that. But, if you look back at it, from my personal experience, I see that everything is connected, right? So, I'm confident that it'll eventually connect for you too. So that is it for my story. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys enjoy these kind of videos and I can make more of it. So if you do want me to make more videos like this, leave a comment telling me that, and also leave a like, subscribe if you haven't. And if you guys want to check out my publishing course, it is a complete A to Z, taking you from beginner to absolute advanced publisher, literally everything you need to know in publishing. You don't need to learn anything else, or you don't need to know anything else to make $35,000 a month from publishing and eventually selling it for, over $1 million. Because I've done it and I've dumped everything I know in my head into that course. So if you want to learn that, the link is below this video, as well as all the tools and resources that I recommend in my business and publishing journey, also in the description. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.